All right, so now we're going to talk about plants and animals. So plant and animals are both eukaryotes. And so they are going to have all those things that eukaryotes have. They're going to have a nucleus. I'm not going to, well, I'll abbreviate some of these. Mitochondria. They're going to have smooth ER and rough ER. They're both going to have Golgi bodies or Golgi apparatus. They are both going to have vacuoles, although they may look different. We'll talk about that in just a second. They're both going to have vesicles. Okay, so they're going to have all those things. They're going to have cell membranes and ribosomes. Okay, but how they are different. The plant, there's really four big ways. Four big things the plant has that the animal doesn't, and two that the animal has that the plant doesn't. So the plant has a large central vacuole, and this is for storing, not spelling, I can't write and talk at the same time, vacuole, and that is for storing primarily water, and it allows the plant to handle being in different environments because they can store water, kind of like we talk about a camel hump. It actually doesn't store water, but anyway, if it did, this would be the comparison. All right, so a large central vacuole, they have chloroplast, which we're going to learn all about in Unit 3 as the site of photosynthesis. They have a cell wall, which we as animals do not have. And then within that cell wall, they're going to have these little channels, doors, however you want it, connections between two cells, and they're called plasmodesmata. And basically that's so if cell number 1 needs to send a chemical over to cell number 2, it doesn't have to leave the cell membrane, leave the cell wall, go back in the next cell wall, go back in the next cell membrane. There's literally a channel that connects those two cells. So it can go directly from the cytoplasm of cell number 1 over to the cytoplasm of cell number 2. And things like hormones and signaling signals, chemicals, all of those are going to be going through these plasmodesmata. All right, animals have, for the most part, we're just going to talk about two centrioles. Centrioles are cytoskeletal elements that are involved in the formation of spindle fibers during mitosis and meiosis, so cell division. Plants do form spindle fibers and all that. They just don't use centrioles. They have a different structure for that. And then lysosomes. There are some structures in plants that do lysosomal activity, so they do that digestion and cleanup. They're just not true lysosomes. And so those are the two big things. And then sometimes you'll see cilia and flagella as well. I shouldn't say sometimes, a lot of times, because the vast majority of plants, or I should say this, no plants have cilia and flagella in their adult state. There are some plants who their sperm, their pollen, will have cilia or flagella because they're water-based plants, and they might need that to get the sperm to the egg. But as a whole, as a group, these don't have those structures. And so that is how you would compare and contrast your plants and animals. I hope that helps, and if you have questions, let me know.